Hey, welcome to the Pharmacy Residency Podcast. I'm a member of the Pharmacy Podcast Network. I want to give you an email template. You should be contacting residency sites now, way before you actually apply in early next week. So what I want to do is I want to go through this with you. It's a video on YouTube if you're listening on the podcast. And I want to go through it step by step. It's a simple 3-paragraph summary, but you should be sending out dozens of these to your sites that you're looking to match with, because what it does is it sends out, let's say you send out 40 of these emails and you get 20 back. Well, now you have a smaller list of sites that are really interested in you and that match well to you. And that just makes it so much easier when you're kind of looking at, okay, well, where do I apply when you're doing this? So, you know, people think that the interview process starts after the application. That is false. There's tons of communication that's going right now. People are recommending, like, hey, such and such didn't match. I think they'd be a great fit for your site. Professors are putting their names to certain students that didn't match at good schools. So let's go through this email template, which is available at residency.teachable.com in the Phase 2 course. It's free. You can just download it anytime. Okay, so I'll first do the specific one, and then I will do the general one. Hey, Dr. Harris, you don't put hey. Dr. Harris, my name is Tony Guerra. I'm a P4 from the University of Ankeny College of Pharmacy. I saw your ambulatory care PGY1 residency program with a focus on diabetes and transition of care was available for applications in Phase 2. The very first paragraph, you introduce yourself. I tell them I'm from the same state, or I'm from the same region, or how I'm, someone local, and then I'm telling them that I am looking for their ambulatory care rather than their hospital residency program or acute care residency program. Second, I tell them how I match in one sentence. Well, 2 sentences. I completed an ambulatory care rotation and transitions of care rotation and earned a certificate in diabetes treatment and care. I have led as vice president of a number of clubs, and my other experiences on my attached CV, and hope we are a good fit. And what I'm saying is that I match to you, clinically at least. And then now in Phase 2, most of the presidents are gone. Actually, most of the vice presidents are gone too. Phase 2 is not about competing in the same pool as Phase 1. Phase 2 is competing in a much different pool where you already have a bunch of people that were accepted to residency. So you've got a great chance if you have significant leadership or volunteer experience. Third, I earned 4 interviews in Phase 1, but with the competitive nature of the process may not have quite reached the ranking I needed to match. I'm looking to apply to your program on Tuesday, and it's going to be March 19th, 20th, 21st at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and I wanted to share my deep interest in joining your team. Best, who you are. So you are doing one more thing in this 3rd paragraph, which is you are assuring them that you are someone who earned interviews already and that you deserve an interview again, and that you are just saying that, sometimes they might have already had 4 people that they kind of wanted, and maybe you were the 5th that they would have ranked, and you just were unlucky. It just didn't work out. But that you are someone that other people have already vetted and somebody that have already interviewed. And it seems a little bit strange, but you want to tell them why you were rejected. Okay. If it's a toxic recommendation, well, that's something that you need to take care of. But you also need to say that, look, this is why I didn't match in Phase 1. I'm actually a really good candidate. It just worked out that I applied maybe to all out-of-state places or something like that. But by letting them know that you already got interviews, that they can say, oh, well, this is somebody we probably want to look at. Because there's 2 groups that are applying in Phase 2. There's those that got interviews and didn't match because they didn't rank high enough. And there are those that didn't get interviews at all. If you got an interview, you want to tell them, and you want to tell them how many, and you want to tell them even maybe, if you really are bold, you can tell them that, if you apply to super hard places like Mayo and UNC and so forth, you could tell them that as well. But again, I would keep it pretty simple. Okay, last tip here, add your CV content in the body of the email. So I remember during this is the 09 recession, when people were trying to work for me. And what I did was, it was amazingly difficult to get attachments to open. So those people that were smart enough to put their actual CV or qualifications in the body of the letter and attach it, instead of having to attach it, try to download it, hope it works on my computer, especially if you're talking about like a VA computer, that is really, really difficult to get anything on. You can just keep scrolling down. Like, oh, okay, I can see, oh, I know this preceptor. Oh, I know this hospital. I know that this person. So again, really, you want to start the conversation before you start the application. Okay, that is an absolute important thing. Now, I put a general one here, which is just a summary, where in the subject, you need to tell them who you are, what you're doing, who are you, and what specifically interests you about their program. So I talked about myself and I focused on their diabetes and transitions of care. What are one or two characteristics that show you match to the program, or what two experiences make you a standout candidate? So I completed ambulatory care and transitions of care, which matches well. And then I was a vice president. Okay, that stands out. And then if you earned interviews, say so, because that way I show that I'm a quality candidate. And then complimentary close, sincerely, whatever your name is. So anyway, residency.teachable.com. I'll show you where this is. Okay, let me do a new share here. Okay, should be here. There. Okay. So go to residency.teachable.com, bottom right corner, phase 2 cover letter course. You click on that and you're going to get here the phase 2 email template. It's a Word doc file. You're welcome to use it. And again, if you want my help crafting that letter of intent, I'm happy to help you one-on-one. Just sign up for the course. But again, I'm happy to also help those people that I'm working with for their letters of intent, craft these an email or two to make sure that the grammar and syntax are correct. Don't forget that every communication that you have is part of your application, really. And so you don't want to just polish the CV and LOI. You want to make sure that your communications are good too. So residency.teachable.com or TonyThePharmacist@gmail.com if you want to contact me with questions.